During this presentation, we will explore a few of the constraints in media education for marginalized groups, specifically discussing the power structures when curricular and production goals are set by institutions for the intended benefit of youth education. Education is a means to develop and engage learners, becoming constructive citizens within society, and it is this education experience that helps them build those skills in how they navigate the world around them. Bruner discusses that there's a myth that a distinct change happens automatically when children advance into adulthood. It is the educational experience that motivates this growth. So therefore, there is an inherent adultism and neocolonialism within education and the value of youth identity and experience. Educators disagree on the role of media within education, what forms this can take, and what sort of products will be created. Yet young people themselves have their own understanding of the way media takes shape within their lives. Many educators see the purpose of media education as a way to protect students from harmful media messages. Yet, this limits the scope and the types of products that can be created by youth from their own understanding of the world around them. There's further challenge by saying that this problem can be fixed by adequate programming with time and money, therefore stripping the process away from the young people and marginalizing their own experience within a task and the media creation. When these controlling groups have control over the ownership of the access, agency, and mobility, it stifles the voices and eventually the academic progress of young people when they're creating media. Cultural vernacular and cultural creativity is modified by these influencing groups. It becomes necessary for these groups then to design authentic learning experiences that can accomplish the skill building and achieve a strong sense of agency for the young people. Hogue also explores the complex relationships and histories that emerge from what voices are actually being heard and valued within the media through these institutions, and what are the less hopeful or less desirable narratives to those controlling groups. Because of these structural limitations imposed by media practices, education must embrace the potentially risky practice of inquiry towards the other interests of young people. Student engagement and inquiry can be increased while also establishing collaborative education. The importance of understanding what strategic risk-taking and the understanding of the way that children see the world around them and the physical and cultural environments influence on those child. Instructors then can create authentic growth experiences. Youth are increasingly engaged within that world around them and through a participatory culture online via the media. However, it is important to generate culture that has accurate effects of the world and not merely a dutiful citizenship that is pressed on by the more traditional pedagogy. Through actualized citizenship, the movement of authority exists on a lateral, peer-based collaborative plane. It pushes against the power and authority that has already marginalized youth while actualizing their own interests and experiences. This disruption can take many forms. It values the belief that youth participation is not wholly positive in the way that it responds to the functions of power, and youth media makers can safely explore the spaces that they occupy and try on different experiences to enrich their understanding of the world. In my own classroom, I designed an activity that was resisted by my students, even though I thought it was engaging. They chose to do a lip dub. Despite this refusal, the student-guided project proved to establish clear demonstration of understanding the lack of representations of schools of color in popular culture meme, and additionally, students elected to still incorporate elements of value to other networks and organizations, yet furnished their own terms and in their own way. The importance of presenting authentic opportunities and give students responsibility within the classroom can reconnect them with this classroom space and the world around them. TPAC model is one example, as well as the reality pedagogy, when learners are taught through the lens that still retains the instructor as the vessel, but the youth who select the ways in which the lesson is constructed. Within many marginalized and underrepresented communities, there are dense social networks. When the trust and cooperation can exist in the broader sense of the classroom, from peer-to-peer, student to instructor, up to the institution, rich learning can exist. In promoting youth leadership and collaboration media, education can better suit youth for the development into competent citizens. Education institutions and organizations alike must call upon new pedagogic models and embrace collaboration beyond peer-to-peer and place trust and value in youth experience and inquiry.